What is up, y'all? Welcome back to your boy's channel. If you're new here, hi, how are you? My name is Mars, and we're gonna get right into this video. But before we do, let me just give a big shout out to Dossier Fragrances for collaborating with me on today's video. If you don't know what Dossier Fragrances are, girl, you're missing out. You're missing out. Dossier Fragrances is a brand that creates fragrances inspired by luxury scents such as Tom Ford, Chanel, Versace, and Youre. They're also a brand that is vegan and cruelty-free, and they also have crafted all of their fragrances in Grasse, France, the perfume capital of the world. So this is how you already know that these fragrances, they're about to smack, girl. They're about to smack. These fragrances are everything. I know for one, I'm someone who's really big on scent and how you smell, and being complimented on your smell and your scent is like one of those little top tier underrated compliments. Like when someone tells you you smell good, like even when you're dating someone and someone tells you you smell good, baby, I'm that much more attracted to you. I'm that much more attracted to you. We can go on a date, it could be our first date, and if you smell amazing and it goes well, it's like, +1 for you, +1 for you. So Dossier Brands is a brand where you can be smart with your money, you can be frugal, and all of the scents are affordable. You can smell like money without spending too much money. And if you know me, I have a whole video of this on my channel titled The World's Cheapest Woman. In that video, we talked about being cheap and being frugal. Be smart and be affordable with your money. Dossier Fragrances is a way for you to be bougie on a budget, girl. You can smell good, you can look good, and you will feel good. And why spend so much money? Why spend hundreds on top of hundreds of dollars for top tier scents when you can get scents that are inspired by and smell just as great and are quality scents for half the price? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So if you want to check out more of Dossier Fragrances, I'll have a link to their website in the description box down below, as well as my discount code if you want to make a purchase. So check them out, girl. Check them out. With that being said, let's get right into today's video. Today's video is all about relationships and dating, part 3. Part 3. I did a video titled Red Flags in the Talking Stage. I also did a video titled The Problem with the Talking Stage. And in those videos, we talked about, the issues that may come up, the red flags that, you may see and you should be aware of within these relationships and these talking ships and these entanglements. But in today's video, we're gonna look within, we're gonna dig deep. We're gonna dig real deep, and we're gonna find out why, sometimes you might still be single. Maybe it's not them, maybe it's you. Maybe it's not them, okay? Maybe it's you. So in today's video, we're running down the 10 dating mistakes that, I think it's what's keeping us single. Some of these things kept me single for quite some time. All right, so number 1, pretending to be someone that you're not, just to get the guy or the girl that you're interested in or attracted to. So here's why this is an issue. Pretending to be someone you're not can only last so long. Like when you're meeting someone, everyone's already giving their best foot forward. They're already giving their best presentation of themselves. So if you're putting on this fake persona, this fake front, just so you can get the guy and the girl that you like or you're interested in, what's gonna happen down the line when it's 3 months later and he finds out that you're not who you said you were? It's gonna come off as a waste of time, for 1. And 2, it's gonna be like, why, like, who is this? Like, why didn't you just be yourself from jump? And for 3, I don't know anybody who can just, unless you are like sociopathic or something, I don't know who can keep up the ruse of trying to be someone that they're not for the sake of someone else. If I know the person that I'm interested in is vegan, I'm not gonna pretend like, oh yes, oh girl, I don't eat chicken, I don't eat Popeyes, girl. Popeyes, what is that? No, like, I'm gonna be like, you know what, I eat chicken, I will go to a few vegan spots with you, I'll try out some vegetarian dishes, but I'm not gonna act like I'm someone that I'm not, just because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. You're wasting your own time and their time, because once they find out who you really are, that gives them the option to, dip out, because you're not who you said you were. If you pretend to be someone you're not, girl, don't do it. Don't do it. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Number 2, you're dating because you don't want to be alone. This is a problem only because we should never feel complete through the companionship through someone else. If you have to go out of your way and force connections just so you're not alone, just so you can have some type of fulfillment in yourself, that's an issue. That's an issue. I think for 1, you're not really ready to date, or like you have some things you have to work out for yourself. I know I don't like to be alone. I'm not gonna force a genuine connection with someone. I'm not going to force myself into these predicaments or these types of relationships just because I'm uncomfortable being alone. It's like you're hurting yourself, because I feel like the connection can only go so far. I feel like people who force connections, who can't be like a few months outside of a relationship, have attachment issues. And I feel like that's a lot that they have to work on within themselves. Like, I feel like if you can't live with yourself, by yourself, without the companionship of someone else, having a partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be, that's something is a little off there and we have to work on that. So if you can't stand being alone even for a few months, a few weeks, if you're always with somebody, that's a little suspect. It's a little suspect, girl. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't make the rules. I'm just saying. Number 3, you're passively dating. Now, passively dating is something that gets misconstrued with casually dating. You can casually date, see what you like, see what you dislike. However, there's a difference between casually dating and passively dating. When you're passively dating, you're dating with no intention. You have no real purpose with the people you're talking to. You're kind of just reacting to whoever takes an interest in you. When you're casually dating, you may not have no actual intentions or end goal. You might not be dating to marry, but you know when you're going out on dates, you want to get to know somebody. When you're passively dating, you don't really date to get to know someone. You're kind of just dating because, hey, Peter just took an interest into me, so now I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance, I'll give it an opportunity, this, that, and the third. But then it's you're kind of reacting to their interest in you and what they bring to the table. So after a while, it becomes wasteful, because after a while, it's well, what interests you? What are you actually interested in? Because if you're just interested in me because I'm interested in you, what else is there here? When people passively date, they have no real intention. They have no goal. They're just sitting back and reacting to people who are interested in them and what people bring to the table. People who are actually interested in each other are going to be actively interested in each other. If you're just passively going along, going with the flow, it's boring and it's a waste of time. You're just passively dating. It's okay, well, what do you bring to the table? What are your intentions? What do you hope to gain from this relationship? Or, just us going on a few dates here and there. What is it that you want? People who passively date, it's they don't bring much. They're kind of just there. And then you'll find out later on, why are we dating? What is this person, what do they actually do for me? What is it that they're actually bringing to this? And if it's not much, then that's someone who's just passively going with the flow. Number 4, you bring the baggage from your old relationship into your new one. This is a red flag for one, but this is also an issue that might be keeping you single. If you're someone who brings the old baggage from your old relationship into this new situationship you got going on where you're trying to get to know someone, not only is it toxic for one, but it hinders your chance and your opportunity to get to know someone for their own individual qualities. You don't ever want to be that person who's clearly trying to move on and date, but every time you go on the first date, you're talking about your ex, or you're bringing up your ex, or you're talking about what your ex did to you, and you're talking about how damaged you are. On the first date, we're here to know what interests you. We're trying to get to know what's your favorites, what's your likes, what's your dislikes, what your interests are. You shouldn't be talking about how Curtis from around the way cheated on you with his girlfriend's baby friend's mama. You shouldn't be talking about none of that. None of that. Maybe after we get to know each other after a while, but if you're bringing your old baggage into the new thing, especially too early, you might as well just shoot yourself in the foot. If that's one of your conversation starters, I don't think you're ready to date. I think you need to go take some time out, heal, figure out whatever it is that you want, but you shouldn't be dating. Don't try to rush into something, because if you're not completely over your ex, don't bring that baggage over here. It's not my job to heal you, girl. I've said this in another video. It's not my job to heal you. Not the next person's job to heal. You have to take the time out to heal for yourself, even if you need relationship counseling. Number 4 brings me into number 5. If you're already bringing your baggage into the new relationship, you should not be comparing your last person to your new person. It should not be who's better and who's worse. Well, he doesn't do this the way that he used to do it. And I think it's something that a lot of us actually do. We do it subconsciously or even consciously. We may compare, our old partners to our new partners or whatever, but to always be thinking about that, to always be thinking, well, you know what, he's not as good as my last guy in this way, or she's not as great as my last girl in that way. It's why you keep comparing your new person to your last person? We should appreciate them for the individual qualities that they bring, for one, and for two, what about asking yourself questions like, what does this girl do for me that that I actually appreciate? What is it about this relationship that I actually like? Comparison is the thief of joy. We should never compare ourselves or the people that we're talking to the people that we used to talk to. I feel like it's common sense, it's a no-brainer, but for some reason this happens a lot. I hear a lot about it. I've had people talk about their exes to me, and it's just and I've been compared to exes. So it's a red flag for one, and for two, it's you're just, again, shooting yourself in the foot two times. So don't compare to your ex, and don't bring your baggage about your ex. Those are 4 and 5, okay? And if you do that, fix that quick. Number 6, you think you can change someone. I don't know what it is. I feel like we all know that we can't change someone. People are who they are. They're gonna do what they do. They're set in themselves. However, there's always someone who thinks that they are the exception to the rule. Like they think, well, if I could just help him get himself together, I can fix him. I can fix him. And let me just say that there's a difference between fixing someone and trying to change them and building them up. You can build someone up, try to lift them up, be like, hey, you could do better, a lot better for yourself. Let me help you. And then there's trying to change someone. So you might not like the way they chew, you might not like the way they snore, they might eat pig's feet and you're vegan and you're like, oh, you know what, you're gonna be vegan if you're gonna be with me. Like, trying to change someone never works. If you're trying to change someone, it's like, I feel like it's selfish, for one. Why should someone have to change for you? There's a difference between forcing them to change and trying to fix them, and then coming to a middle ground or compromise. Like I said earlier, when we even meet people for the first time, they're already putting their best foot forward. They're already giving their best presentations on themselves. So when you meet them, you're already meeting the best version of themselves that they're trying to present for you. So if you're months down the line into a relationship and you're trying to figure out, well, all of a sudden now you can't stand the things that this person does, but they've been doing it, it's like, well, why didn't you address it, for one? For two, why are you trying to fix it and change it now? Because nothing has changed. And I feel like it's selfish to try to change someone or fix someone for your own need. It doesn't need to be oh, well, maybe I can fix them. Let me get them together for me. Maybe you should look at yourself and be like, hey, maybe this is a deal breaker for myself. Can I actually deal with this or not? Ask yourself that question. If it's a deal breaker, let it go, cut it off, cut it loose. But don't try to fix someone and mold them into what you think they should be for you. It's selfish, it's problematic, it's toxic, girl, and there's so many synonyms I can give right now, but I'm not gonna do that, so we're gonna move on to the next one, because I think you get it. You get the point, right? Okay, cool. Number 7, you're not direct. You're not direct, baby. You're not direct. Everyone cherishes, oh, communication is key. Communication is everything. But then when it's time to communicate, we don't communicate. When it's time to talk, we don't talk. When it's time to address something when we're upset, we don't address it. And I don't understand. Like, we all know, we all shout from the rooftops that I need communication in my relationships, but then we're not communicating. We're not communicating, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, people aren't magical mind readers. We can't pick your brain trying to figure out why you're upset. We can't pick your brain trying to figure out what's bothering you. You have to say it. You have to be direct, very clear, very transparent, because if you're not, it leaves room for error. It leaves a lot of gray. It leaves blurred lines that if you had just came out and said it, would not be there. If you're ready to settle down, open your mouth and say that. If you're ready to have a baby, open your mouth and say that. If you're ready to be exclusive, open your mouth and say that. Because when you don't, things can be interpreted or assumed, and that leaves too much gray area. Be direct, be real clear cut, because it gets straight to the point. Because when you're not direct, you can't be upset when people assume things or make interpretations because you ain't open your mouth. You can't. If you're not direct, you cannot be upset, baby. You cannot. You cannot. Number 8, you're only talking to one person. In this day and age, everybody seems to be talking to multiple people. They don't put all their eggs in one basket. They're playing the field, seeing what they like and what they don't like. So you should be doing the same. I feel like when you talk to a good majority of people, a good handful of people, you eliminate the idea of getting attached to one person too quickly. And it also leaves you as an option and a choice for the guy or the girl that you're talking to. They can have, 3 or 4 guys or girls they're talking to, but if you're only talking to them, you're relying on the fact that hopefully they pick you and y'all end up in a relationship out of the other girls or guys that they may be talking to. You're sitting back and letting yourself be an option when you could be the decider. I'm just saying, you can choose who it is that you're gonna end up with. You can figure out who best fit for you. When you're talking to more than one person at a time, you get to be like, okay, well, I don't have to limit myself to the possibility of pursuing a relationship with this person. I don't have to just cut off the other potential suitors or the potential guys or girls I may be interested in because you're just solely talking to one person. I feel like in this day and age, everyone says, oh, I got hoes, or I got this and that and the third, but what they're really saying is, you know what, I got options. And you wanna have options too. If you're just limiting yourself to one person, not only are you easily gonna be attached to that person because that's who you're investing your time and your energy into, but you're also eliminating the other potential guys and girls, and maybe even your future husband, wife, or partner because you're talking to this one guy who has choices and who has other options. But you don't have options and you don't have choices because you're only solely talking to this one person. This is one thing that I feel like I used to be someone who used to only talk to one person, but once you find out that they're the person who has choices and who has options and they decide for themselves who they're gonna end up with, you wanna be like, okay, well I'm gonna decide for myself too. If you're talking to other people, I'm gonna talk to other people. If you got other options and choices, I'm gonna have other options and choices. That's how you have to be, especially in this day and age. No one's trying to waste nobody's time, but if you're only talking to one person and you're just letting them have options and choices, you better step your A game and your cookies up to make sure that he gonna end up with you at the end of the line, okay? Because if there's any other semblance of, or an inkling of an idea that he's gonna end up with any of these other people, then there you go, your time's wasted. And now you're sitting back and you're like, well damn, I did all of that, and we're not even together. You gotta have options. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because if he don't pick you, if she don't pick you, then where you at? Right where you always been. By yourself. But while there's also a thing as talking to only one person at a time, there's also a thing as talking to too many people. When you're talking to too many people at a time, and let's say you're talking to like 8, 9 guys, 8, 9 girls, it's like you're spreading yourself thin. Like to me, I feel like that's too much. I feel like you can't really form deeper connections. You can't really, I mean, you can get to know people on a certain level, but it's really gonna be surface level. Like I feel like you can only, who can juggle that many people at a time? I don't have that much time on my hands to be texting, good morning, how you doing, what's your favorite color, what's your favorite number, what do you do for work? I don't have time to be getting to know that many people at one time. So I feel like when you do that, you can only take it so far. Like you don't want to spread yourself thin. You want to, if you're actually trying to date someone, you want to actually, you know, get to know someone on a deeper level. You want to know what actually makes them tick. You want to know what bothers them. You want to know what their interests are, what their favorites are, what they like and what they don't like, what their favorite meal is, what they do for a living. You want to know those things. But when you're talking to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 people, how can you do that? So you don't want to talk to one person and just solely get attached to them, but you don't want to be talking to everybody in town either, because how are we forming connections like that? Now, it's one thing to talk to many people because you know it's just gonna be casual. We know what time we're on. We're just here for the moment. You know, you got needs, I got needs. That's what it is. But if you're actually trying to date someone, if you're actually trying to turn someone into a boyfriend or a girlfriend, a husband or a wife, baby, talking to too many people, that's, I mean, if you can do it, you can do it, but I'm just saying, limit your number to a good handful, a good 3 to 4. A good 3 to 4, maybe 5 if you can handle it. A good 3 is good for me, okay? I'm just saying. Some of y'all be talking to way too many people at one time, and then y'all wonder why your relationships aren't established the way they should be because you didn't really get to know them on a deeper level. But that's tea for another day. Number 10, the final dating issue that I have on my list is ignoring the red flags. If you haven't watched my video about red flags in the talking stage, I'll link it up here. Okay, but there's so many red flags. There's might be deal breakers that you can't handle, that might be something you just can't work with. But if you ignore the red flags in the beginning, because you know, maybe he checks off all your boxes, she checks off all your boxes, this is like your dream guy or gal, this is like someone you're super attracted to, if you're pushing away or ignoring red flags for the sake of the relationship, where do you think this relationship is going to go? I would like to know, where do you think this relationship is going to go? Because the red flags are going to be, if you're ignoring them now, the red flags are still going to be there later on. You can turn a blind eye to them, but that doesn't mean they're not there. You may be sacrificing your own feelings and emotions for the sake of this relationship, but if there's red flags and things you can't deal with, don't ignore them. Don't ignore them. But yeah, hopefully this video ain't too damn long. I think a lot of the times we like to point the finger at other people, but sometimes we gotta look at ourselves. We gotta look at ourselves because sometimes it's not them, it's us. And I try to help y'all and bring to light some of these dating mistakes that we are making that's keeping us single, girl. Because y'all have to point the finger. And a lot of times it's not them, it's you. Yeah, this is in no way, shape, or form a substantial or comprehensive dating mistakes list. If you have more, list them down below in the comment section, girl. I would love to hear them. I would love to hear them. But yeah, as always, let me know what you guys think of this video in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. I will also be linking the code and the website to Dossier Fragrances if you want to make a purchase. It'll be in the description box down below, the first link. But yeah, if you like what you see and want to see more of me, subscribe. But until then, I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye!